but I suppose we should probably start with a non-spoiler review. Now, the plot is, well, decent. It had some twists that were obvious, but still cool nonetheless. And the animatronics are a feat of engineering, and it's insane that they use real animatronics, unlike a certain other film. But yeah, even when there were actors in the suits, they still look realistic and like they could be animatronics. And the set was kinda crazy, seeing it was just in an abandoned Home Depot in New Orleans. And the atmosphere was also really good. And without spoiling anything, they used details in the set to somewhat hint at some twists. But yeah, I'm going to talk about spoilers now, so click off if you don't want spoilers. Are you gone? Good. So the movie begins with this god, who on this channel we previously named Jeremy, so I'll stick with it. And he's calling for a rent, and I'll say his acting here is really good. So shout out to Ryan Yankee. And then he gets put in the torture machine, which we previously made a video on, go watch it if you haven't. And then we get this really cool 8-bit style opening, which pays homage to the minigames in FNaF 2 and 3. And it plays this amazing song. I genuinely cannot stop listening to it. Then we see an alarm clock in darkness, a reference to the ones in the game, which I think is cool. Blah blah blah, some scenes of Abby. And then we see a dream theory booth, which is a reference to the popular theory about the first 3 games being a dream, and dreams playing a big part in this film. And I'll say it, the amount of references this film has is insane, but I'm all for it. For example, this ice cream parlor with the Toy Chica's Magic Rainbow from FNaF World. Then some plot. Then we see Steve Yaglin, aka Matthew Lillard, who actually stole the show. Like, all the other ones are great, but it's Matthew Lillard, come on. And his office is filled with Easter eggs. It has yellow chairs, like a certain yellow rabbit we all know and love, and there was a rabbit-shaped wire mail holder, which didn't make it into the final scene, sadly. And I swear William Afton can't do math.
And you only have to worry about one thing: keeping people out. And keep the place tidy. That's 2 things.
Skip forward a bit, and then we meet Max, played by Kat Connor Sterling, who is an amazing actor and one of the 4 vandals that actually break in later in this film. And Max is a really good character. The acting is insane, considering she's a babysitter in real life. Then we find Abby, played by Piper Rubio, and she did surprisingly well considering she's a child actor, and she's drawing some punks, who are actually the kids who possess the animatronics at Freddy's, and the kids that were killed by Steve Yaglin, aka William Afton. Then we get Mike's first dream sequence from the past, and this dream is inferred to be set in Nebraska, but not confirmed. And the actors really made it feel like the iconic kids movies where they have like everything in life. But then Garrett goes missing. Then he abruptly wakes up, and we meet the best and worst characters in this movie. Aunt Jane being the worst, and Doug being the best. 10 out of 10 movie, only because of Doug. But being serious, Mary Stewart acting is really good. It makes me hate her character in the movie, but love her acting. Then Mike decides to call William Appleton about that job.
The security guard.
We get told it was huge in the 80s of the kids, and that it's been shut down for years, and that the owner's a sentimental guy. I wonder who that owner guy is. Then he promptly hangs up a phone, and I wonder if we'll see him on the flip side. Then Mike gets introduced to the stars of the show, and don't they look adorable? Then Mike gets introduced to a smaller star of the show. You guessed it, Balloon Boy, who's a neat guy. I think he's cool in the movie. Then Mike explores the place, and like I said, the acting is amazing. It looks like he's never been there before. Then he finds the animatronics, and reacts in a way that probably everyone would do. Then Mike sleeps. Like, seriously, dude. You just found 4 deadly animatronics and you sleep. Why? Then he encounters the same dream. Why? Because he wants to find out what happened to Garrett, of course. But the ghost children are here this time. He chases after one and then falls. Then we go to Sparky's diner. And is that Matt Pat? Oh, it's just Ness. My bad. But seriously, for a YouTuber, Matt Pat does a good job as an actor. I know he was a theatre kid, but it still shocked me. Now, one thing that bugs me in this scene is Jeff, Max's brother, somehow knows that it's a security gig, which Max never said anything. Maybe it was cut, but who knows, it just bugs me. Mike arrives for his second night, and he sleeps. There's a lot of sleeping in this film. Then the dream plays out, and he chases a kid possessing Foxy, and he gets cut, which translates in real life too. And insert copyrighted song and a Golden Freddy reference. Then Vanessa, aka Elizabeth Lale, shows up, and it plays this tune very similar to Princess Quest.
Can I help you, officer? Can I help you, officer?
Does this mean something? Probably not. Then we get to see the gang perform Let's Go, it's a vibe in here. And it's kinda insane that these are real animatronics. Then he locks up for the night, and then Jeff finds a way in and calls up the fellas. But it's unclear who Hank and Cole are and how Jeff knows them. But whatever. And Cole, no, don't check the empty fridge, that stuff harms you. Then he turns around and... Silly cupcake, that isn't toothpaste, that's Cole. Then Hank sees the cupcake having a munch of 87. Then he runs and hides in the supply closet. And there's one thing you should know, Hank. A bunny likes to hide in that closet. And what did I say? You should have listened to me, Hank. Silly Billy. Then Jeff recreates the metal pipe sound effect as he runs into the office. Then he has to deal with the cupcake in the vents. Then he ultimately dies from Foxy. Then Max decides to join the deceased club. Gets chomped by good old Freddy. Silly Freddy, that's not your burger. So I'll give this break-in section a 7 out of 10. The acting is great. It's just some of the deaths are short and not as gory as I'd hoped. But still a great section though. Then Vanessa shows up at Mike's house and they talk about the break-in that happened at Freddy's. And this acting from Vanessa is particularly good in this act of the movie. She actually feels like a police officer that isn't biased. And then they talk about Mike's dreams for a bit with Garrett. And we get some reviews about Michael's parents, specifically about his mum dying and his father not being able to hold on after that. And night 3 is the night where Abby first comes to Freddy's. And oh my god, does everyone in this universe have a sleeping obsession? And Mike decides to clean up the place. Wow, he's actually being responsible for once. Then he goes in the supply closet to get some supplies then. Is that blood? My question is, who's actually cleaning it up? I assume it's Vanessa, but like, doesn't really make sense. Then he sees Balloon Boy again, and then he's done all the cleaning up, and someone calls Abby's name. It's unclear who, but it's probably the Golden Freddy kid. And the actor for this child is really amazing. He seems so childish and playful at the same time. Then Abby says the iconic line,
I'll be right back.
Get another beer, you want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back!
Then Mike sees the golden kid. I'll call him Bob, I don't know. So Bob draws the yellow rabbit. Then Mike wakes up and hears Abby scream. And the animatronics were just tickling her. Oh silly Abby, you scared the living daylight out of Mike. Then Abby introduces the gang to Mike. And they really like pictures. I wonder how that could be used for the plot. Overall this night was pretty good. Some good acting from everyone here actually. Then, oh dear, Abby has been drawing about Garrett's death even though no one told her. Ooh, spooky. Then we see just Vanessa staring at the drawings, and then Abby and the animatronics build a massive fort and they have some fun building it, and it's a really fun scene. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it, even if it's a bit goofy. Then Bonnie just falls over. I love this scene so much. 10 out of 10 scene. Then they go backstage to find some tablecloths for the roof. Then they find the Springlock suit, which looks like it could be Eleanor from the book 1:35 AM. Then Abby, Foxy and Chica have a bit of a dance. Then we have this scene where Vanessa threatens Mike's life, so that's fun. Then Mike, with his life on the line, calls Aunt Jane and asks for help. Then he goes to get sleeping pills for tonight, and he's super rude to this nice doctor. That's not acceptable, Mike. Then he sleeps, but the dream is different. Garrett wasn't kidnapped in this one. How bizarre. Then the climax of this film starts when Bob and the other ghost kids want Abby. Then he foolishly agrees to this trade of sorts. Then he realizes how stupid he was to agree, and he says, no, this isn't what I want. Then they all viciously attack him. Then he wakes up in the torture machine. I love this machine so much. He's so awesome. It's such a cool design. So kudos to the set designers. Then he escapes and sees the vandals from earlier all in the suits. Hank and Sparky, Max and Shadow Freddy, and Cole and Jeff are just there, I guess. Then we get the infamous Foxy chase scene, which is pretty tense. I like this scene. Then we skip back to Mike's house and we see Freddy. Oh, wait, my apologies. It's not Freddy. Then we see another YouTuber called Yeskenshin, whose acting is very good. Massive kudos for the YouTubers who acted brilliantly in this production. Then we see Mike in a police outpost with Vanessa, and it gets a bit heated. When it's revealed Vanessa knew all about the kills, and Vanessa gives Mike all the FNaF lore. Let's go, I'm sure this was the addition, after MatPat told them about the lore. Then the animatronics perform Talking in Your Sleep, which is a great song for this film. Then Chica lures Abby into the back room, and Mike uses a vent to break into Freddy's. Then Freddy almost spots Mike, but he's lucky and plot armor. And then Mike pours water on the stage, and then tases the water, causing the animatronics to fall. And this thing is stupid. It wouldn't stop the song, it would stop the animatronics, but not the song, because the song comes through the speakers. Then Chica harms Abby by trying to put her in the Springlock suit, but she's promptly saved by Mike, who tases Chica. Then, who's that? Is that the cupcake? Hell yeah, it is. And he grasps Mike's leg, holding him down to the ground. Then we get the hardest scene of this movie. The Foxy kid possessing Foxy. Then the cupcake freaking flies. That's kinda insane. Then Mike manages to tase him. All this while Abby is hiding from Foxy. This shot is insane and I love it so much. Then Abby hides in a ball pit, which is stupid. If you make one movement, it causes a chain reaction through the ball pit, but whatever. And it keeps us safe for a little longer. I wonder if that Steve Yaglin dude's still okay. The last time we saw him was through Cole. Oh, here he is. Welcome back, Steve. But this scene is crazy, and I love how they introduced the yellow rabbit. Then Vanessa pulls Abby out of the ball pit with Foxy on the ground. Afton does some awesome dialogue. Nothing really to point out though. Then all the animatronics wake up. Then Vanessa threatens her own father. Like, chill out, Vanessa. What did your dad do? Alright, yeah, sorry, I forgot. Continue, Vanessa. Then it's revealed that Steve Yaglin is the yellow rabbit. Then some other things happen, and the yellow rabbit gets revealed to the animatronics that he killed them. Then spotlights are on William. Then he just goes ruthless on them and roasts them, which is quite funny. Then the cupcake wants a bite of him. Then surprise, surprise, he gets spring locked. I wish there was a bit more gore here, rather than just nothing, but still cool. Some good acting by Matt Lillard, and yep, he said the line. Nothing really to note in the ending of this film. So that was it, right? Oh, never mind, it's Balloon Boy. Okay then. But I give massive respect to Blumhouse and Scott for putting the Living Tombstone song in this production. So that was it, Five Nights at Freddy's. Was it worth the wait? Well, I think so. Besides a somewhat bland plot at some points, it was amazing. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Even my mum enjoyed the film, and she is not really familiar with the series, and my friend who doesn't really like the series actually enjoyed it too. So should you watch it? In my opinion, yes. And this has been that one FNaF guy signing off.